I decided to go live today and play around with my light ring. As you guys are well aware, Nick Townsend will be coming into town next Sunday, so I'm getting all of the ins and outs with our training room here in Plano. I'm getting all of the stuff ready for him. We're very excited that he's coming to do the Master Brow training class, and so I did go out and get this new ring light, which I absolutely love. I've done pictures already with it. I've done all kinds of things with the ring light. If you didn't see my live on Friday, I got the newer 18-inch LED ring light, which is what you're seeing on over here. I'll use the dimmer to show you the differences without the light. So that's where it goes bright. And then without the light, this is what I look like. So I'm absolutely in love and enthralled with this light. It definitely changes the way I view things and understand things, especially from a video point of view. I have, and I'm gonna do this a little bit brighter, there we go. I really wanted one just to kind of play around. I have a mentoring group where I talk to estheticians about the importance of making sure your light is great when you're showing befores and afters, making sure that when you're showing, whether it's your products or you're showing something that you're actually doing, making sure that the lighting is really, really well. And I have done a ton of videos, specifically hands-on videos and Brazilian wax training, and that was always our issue. We had tons and tons of light, which makes everything hot, but this is a beautiful light. It's not expensive. I got it off of Amazon. It was only for $99. The iPhone stand, it can go for iPhone and I believe for iPad as well. So everything that you see right here is already on the actual newer ring stand itself. So I absolutely love it. But I was coming on today too to share, I get a lot of PMs with people asking me about my brows, the process of getting the perfect brow. All of you should be aware that these are powdered brows. So this is a permanent technique that I have had done. My first session with Diana, who's also the eyebrow maven in Chicago, was in March. And then I had my follow-up appointment in September, just about 2 weeks ago. And then this will last me for 2 years. So I don't touch my brows. This is how I get up every single day. I don't do anything to them. Everything is very well good. So I'll get all nice and close because see, the lighting is really good. So if you get real close, you can still see my real hair, but you see the beautiful color underneath, which is what I wanted. And when you start looking at what you want to do to your brows, whether it's permanent makeup, whether it's microblading, whether it's powdering technique, ombre brows, whatever you're looking at doing, you got to make sure you know exactly if that is for you. I've posted on my Facebook page a number of times that I was not a candidate. I still am not a candidate for microblading. I do a lot of treatments on my skin, even though my skin is, flawless right now. A lot of it's because I'm not having any sugar, but I love my peels. I love my vitamin A, love my vitamin C. I love to have actives on my face. I get microcurrent every 2 weeks. I do a lot of stuff to help my skin glow and look young, but that's also counterproductive when you're looking at microblading. So if you are, thinking about getting microblading done, if you've thought about it, if you looked at people that have had great results, I always encourage to look at those results 6 months, 12 months down the line. What does their brows look like then? Of course, they're gonna look flawless when they leave, but what does it look like when they're doing their everyday, when they're getting their treatments done every 4 to 6 weeks? What does their brows look like? And so Diana, who you guys all know, she's done my brows for years. Every time I go to Chicago, I beg her to come to my hotel and do my brows. I talked with her about 2 years ago about the whole microblading. Am I a candidate? What do you think? You do it. Would you do it for me? She's the only one that I would ever trust to have this done. And she basically said, no, I don't think it'll be great for you at all. I think it's not something that a lot of people are very educated on. The ones that are really, really good are for those folks who really have no hair. You're really looking at getting your brows more full and more consistent. You have hair, you just want them to be full behind that hair. I said, absolutely. I powder them in every day because I want them to have that full look. How can I get that look all the time without me having to do makeup every day? Or, if I forget to do makeup, I can just walk out like right now and look flawless. And she said the powdering technique, I think, will be really, really good for you, especially with your skin tone and the fact that you do love to have a lot of things done to your skin. And I loved and I still love her honesty. I think a lot of us estheticians don't understand really skin. We don't understand the difference between microblading, micropowdering, permanent makeup. We don't really understand the differences, but we're quick to say, oh, go do this and go do that. I am a person to like to experience things. I want to see how it's going to do, not only on my skin type, but what it's going to look like, so then I can turn around and share with everyone, licensed and unlicensed, my experience, and then understanding that the conversation that happened 2 years before I even had the service done. So I went back and forth with her on Instagram and on Facebook and face-to-face when I saw her when I would go to Chicago, and say, tell me exactly what I would need to do to get the full. I want the full. I don't need blades. I don't need stripes. I don't need hair strokes. I need just full color on my hair underneath all the time. So fast forward to last year, I finally just sent her a message and said, I'm ready to do it. What are the before? What do I need to do to prepare going in? Because I get my treatments every 2 weeks. I get a peel every 2 weeks. Well, I shouldn't say a peel. I get, an enzyme with alpha hydroxys. I get my microcurrent every 2 weeks. I get my facial, my eye treatments. I get all the whole shebang every 2 weeks. So tell me what I need to do to prepare my skin so that it takes really well, and that your expertise in this. And I've referred my massage therapist. If you follow Eyebrow Maven, she was posted yesterday. I told my massage therapist, she sees me every 2 weeks as well. She has no brows, and so she was really excited about going, and I was telling her the process that I was doing. And I said, I recommend anyone, it doesn't matter where you are in the US, you got to go to someone who actually knows what they're doing in brows. I like to go to someone who is an expert, which means all they do day in and day out is eyebrows. Diana Roth, who is in Chicago. She's part owner of the Browtique. You guys saw it when I posted on my way there. I always do shares and lives when I'm with her. All she does is brows. So because I trust her and she's an expert and that's all she does day in and day out, I trust her with my face. And as you guys all know, my face can be very temperamental. But the reason I trust her with my face is because that's all she does. That is her specialty: eyebrow, contouring, powdering, microblading, waxing, tinting, brows. That's it. So when I talked to her and said, let's get to it, I got all kinds of emails specifically saying out what I needed to do to prepare my skin. And the biggest one, which hurt me the absolute most, was having to let go of the alpha hydroxys before I had my service done. Now, if y'all all know, I love a good alpha hydroxy. I do combinations. My home care has a lot of peptides. I do a lot of Victoria Deanne serums. I do a lot of Victoria Deanne peptides. I love to do my retinol. I love to do my lactic. Even my cleanser is a sal lactic. I love to do my vitamin C's. I love to do all of my serums. I'm a huge serum person. And I love my dewy. I'm a big dewy serums. So, having to let go of the alpha hydroxys for 4 weeks before my appointment took my skin back to the 8th grade, where I had just zip pops all over my face, and my skin was breaking out uncontrollably. And I finally just said, I don't know if I can do this. I texted her. I said, I look like I'm back in the 8th grade. I said, I have a whole system to keep my skin the way it is, and taking out those alpha hydroxys is just you're taking away my staple. That's what keeps everything together. And so she was laughing, and she's like, take out the actives, the retinol, and keep your cleanser. Don't use any serums at night, but try to just really cut back. So that's where Victoria Deanne came in. I use their, what is it called? I think it's the Rejuvenator, and that is an alpha hydroxy free, but it's still an exfoliant. It tingles like I don't know what, but I love that stuff. And I also love their hyperpigmentation. I use that every single night for my hyperpigmentation, and that's usually when I'm playing, but they heal. But that happened all the way up. So once I got, the first service done, and I was very pleased, I'm always pleased with Diana's work, I really started sharing my experience with everyone. I not only shared it on my YouTube channel, I came live and I've talked to it on Facebook, I've come live and talked to it on Instagram. That's one thing when it comes to estheticians. People look at us and they look exactly, they're telling, their eyes tell exactly what they're thinking. They expect our skin to be flawless. They expect our brows to be perfect. They expect our makeup to be perfect. It's always that kind of catch-22. I was the esthetician when I started in this industry where I had horrible skin. I had the acne. I had the hyperpigmentation. I was an esthetician for about 3 years before I had my daughter. And when I had my daughter, my skin was even worse. I had all kinds of acne and body acne and all kinds of hormones happening in my skin. So, it was really hard for me to continue to do the service because the expectation of a skin therapist esthetician is that your skin has no problems. You take care of it. It's flawless. You want your client's skin to get to where you are. It only took me 15 years to say, this is exactly what I do diligently. Before, when I started, I did not have an esthetician that I went and got services from. I was not continually taking care of my skin and understanding how sugar affects my skin and how alcohol affects my skin. I was doing consults for customers and telling them, oh yeah, you can't be having all the sugar and candy every day and have acne, or you can't drink and have coffee every day and expect your skin not to react to it. So it became for me more of a understanding that my eyebrows definitely frame my skin and frame my face and really, bring out whatever's going on. And I'm very expressive anyway. But as I was getting older, I was also losing hair. I used to over wax and over tweeze my brows when I was younger. I was those pencil thin or the dramatic really, really high. I've done nair on my brows. So I've never, really taken care of my brows. It was only until they started going away and not, filling in on my tails. And I was starting to see them get real thin in the belly that I started to worry and started to look at microblading, which is what a lot of our customers do. A lot of them don't want to fill their brows every day. A lot of them notice, especially women, as we're getting older, our body changes, our hormones change, and that affects our facial hair as well. It leaves the brows and comes to the chin. So I really was very adamant about admitting that I needed to do something about the brows. So once I started the process 2 years ago, and that's when microblading kind of had a big boom. It came out and everyone wanted to do it. And, microblading is not regulated under aesthetics, if you're very well understanding that. It's really regulated under permanent makeup, which is definitely the city or county health. So really someone can just take a class and then microblade. And then I saw a lot of horrible microblading stories and horrible befores and afters, and really started saying to myself, if I want to do something to the brows, I don't want them to be, fading eventually to, blue, or fading to deep purple, or black fading to gray. Like, I want someone to tell me what I could do to keep, not only the color that my brows are, but to give me that fullness. And that's where the micro powdering comes in. The reason I love Diana is I see her travel all over for her, not only for her business, but for what she does. She's been to Europe a couple of times doing education and training. And we all know, especially in aesthetics, Europe kind of has it first, and then it kind of fades its way over to the US. So powdering has been big over there for a while, and she's one of the best, I believe, truly in the US when it comes to powdering brows. She's referred me to someone for West Coast that she says is even better than her. I haven't seen her work yet, but that is in, I believe, Oregon or Washington, and that's on the West Coast. So, powdering for me was always an exciting thing for me to do, but it's also something that I've shared. So when people ask me, and I'm very honest, I say, I don't care how much it costs. I don't care where I have to go to get it, because it's my face and I need to have the work be flawless. I'm in front of a lot of people. I'm constantly on social media. I'm constantly having people come into, the storefront here and ask for me and talk to me. And, it's really, really important for me to make sure that when I get them done, that it's really going to be exactly what I expect. And this was way more than I could ever have expected. Tracy, that's the thing about permanent makeup, which I really was very against for myself, because I've never seen someone's brows for permanent makeup that's not faded to a blue or a gray or a blue-gray. Which is why when I talked to Diana about it, I was interested in the microblading, because I know the microblading, you can actually customize the pigment a little bit better, especially for women of color. So that's kind of where I was like, okay, maybe that is the route that I should go. So when it does fade, that I'm not fading into that kind of bluish, purplish, gray, odd different color. But with the powdering and the technique, and Diana explains it really, really well. As you know, permanent makeup is definitely a needle that's injecting into the skin consistently in the same place. Microblading is you're slicing open and you're depositing at the same time into open skin. And then the powdering is depositing right over the top of the skin consistently. So you're almost forcing the skin to accept the color, which is what I like. I don't have to have my skin cut open. I don't have to have needles injecting in. It's just literally spraying over the top multiple times in the same area, just really just delivering it, which I like. And this will continue to fade brown. It won't fade up to a blue, or won't fade, up to a darker gray. It will really fade brown. For me, every 2 years, I expect to go get it touched up with her, so I'm not really concerned about that. And even from the first one I got in May to the one that I got in September, we also have pictures of that. I did not have a fade that much, even though I still like to do as much of my alpha hydroxys, and I get my facials, and I get, the enzyme treatments and the lactic and the salicylic, as much as I use on a daily basis, didn't really have effect on the brows, which is what I liked. I just expect to get them touched up every 2 years as deemed necessary for them to stay, and do what they are. So, it's a technique that I truly find that it's not as popular here in the US, which is why I find a lot of us don't know what it is. But the fact that Diana does offer it in Chicago, I know it's offered by this other woman that she's referred, because I've had friends in California ask to get it done too. I would not recommend anything else, especially for women of color, or if you have any kind of pigment. If you are a FITS 3, 4, 5, 6, you definitely have to understand that your skin's going to respond differently. You have to understand the true definition of microblading. There's a reason why they say blading. They are cutting into the skin. If you're more prone to keloid, you have to really understand that and take that into consideration as well. So, and keloid happens all across every kind of skin tone, skin type, skin color. It doesn't really matter. Keloid skin is keloid skin. So, I do keloid, so that's one thing that I always have to take in consideration, especially when you're talking about cutting into the skin. And then I also did not want that. I don't want it to be open in order for the color to adhere. And I also don't want to fade. And I've seen a couple of people who have had a horrible experience with microblading, and the fading less than a year later, it's not fading cute either. So I really kind of, like I said, about 2 years, I did my research into what exactly I wanted to do for the brows, and the brow powdering worked really well for me. Diana does agree that women of color definitely have a better response with the powdering, so that's something I also was very excited for. And then just the experience. I mean, she is definitely top notch. But I didn't have like downtime, like a true chemical peel, where I wasn't able to go to work or be seen. There was a little bit of flaking that was happening. It wasn't really that bad. I was still able to go to work every day and, be Uber mom for my daughter and do my normal activities. I just wasn't able to go to the gym or sweat for, I think, 2 weeks after the first application, which is fine. But it was an experience that I'm glad that I actually partake in, and then this experience that I share with all of you, because we're all looking for that, especially if you're in the skincare industry. I think there's a lot of over expectations for a lot of us when we look at what exactly we want to do to ourselves and how we want to advertise to other people, not only what we say, but also how we look. We're in a vain industry, and I've said that for years. Our industry is very vain. The expectations of a skincare therapist is way higher than anybody else. I don't care what you say. When you go to an esthetician, you're looking at their skin. You're looking at their brows. You're looking at whether or not they have, makeup on. You're looking at to see if they have bumps under those makeup. I mean, people are very more, they're picky when it comes to looking at a skincare therapist. Their expectations are just really ridiculous when it comes to our, who we are. We can't be human. We have to be, perfect. Our makeup has to be perfect. Our brows have to be perfect. We can't have hairy brows. We can't have a hairy lip. So, it really fit in well with my lifestyle, because I am busy. I am a mom. I run multiple businesses, but I also know that I'm in front of a lot of people, and people are always looking at my brows, whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm at the dance studio, whether I'm at a dance convention, whether I'm at a show convention for aesthetics. People are always looking at me, expecting me to have, over the top, makeup. I'm not a big makeup wearer, as you know. I pretty much just wear my eyeliner. That's about it. My eyeliner I've worn for years is Blink. And the reason I love wearing Blink eyeliner is because it never gives me raccoons. I literally will take some water and all of it will just come off in a little string, and I just keep going. It's the one that I use for my daughter, especially. My daughter Celine is extremely sensitive, so I always tend to use very nice products on her specifically because she wears a lot of makeup, even though I don't like it, but for dance she does. But the same thing, I have so many moms say, your daughter never has raccoon the next morning or anything like that. And I say, well, here's the secrets that I use. Number one, blink for her eyeliner, and I use that on top of her fake lashes. And then the other thing that she uses a lot to condition her eyelashes, and they're so thick, I need to have her come on so you can see. She uses Ouch Balm to condition her eyelashes. So even when she has makeup on, she'll put a little bit of Ouch Balm onto her lashes after doing a lot of makeup. And I try not to put mascara on when I put her fake lashes on as well. So there's some things that I do that preserve her, but the biggest thing is just making sure that the eyeliner is not giving her the raccoons or going down into her eyes. She's very sensitive, and when you have a whole weekend of dance, I can't have makeup in her eyes. She's already going to be cranky, but add makeup and lashes, and it's just too much. But you know, that's the thing about what we do, is that I love to just share my experiences. I think a lot of us don't have those type of esthetician friends that come and share experiences. You know, we're very busy in our treatment room. We're very busy trying to catch up with clients. We're trying to keep up with making sure they don't cancel. We're trying to get their money if they do cancel. And it's hard for us to just have honest conversations. I used to do esthetician chat. We're going on almost 2 years ago. I used to do esthetician chat every Tuesday night. And that was a great time. I had time then. I think that was a great way for me to really connect with a lot of estheticians on a level that I would never be able to connect with, whether I was at a trade show or whether people come and do training with me in person. It was just a different way for me to connect to people. But every now and then I go back and I do an esthetician chat. I try to do one, you know, once a quarter. Instagram has kind of been a better response for me to come on and have these kinds of conversations. But I truly have taken a step back from the aesthetics hands-on portion. The business has grown tremendously. Our lives have changed tremendously. So it's been a little bit more challenging to do that, even though I still, you know, understand and empathize what it's like to work in a treatment room, to have customers that don't, you know, they no-show, they don't put in the right credit card. They want to come back and pay for something else and take a product and then come back and pay you later. Like I can always emphasize with those things. But once I moved here, which is almost 3 years ago, I actually stopped seeing clients. And it became very different focus for me because we started over with the business. So I know a lot of you guys do miss those chats, and some of those chats are still available on my YouTube channel. It's just a lot of things changed when we moved. A lot of things changed with the physical business that we have here. We've changed that. So 3 times. So I've moved 3 times in 3 years. And here we have our permanent location, which we're great about. Well, at least permanent for the next 5 years. But we've just had a different shift. And my focus has changed to really encouraging estheticians to understand our shelf life, you know, have multiple streams of income, you know, don't be guaranteed and reliant on just one way to make money. You know, a lot of people are true believers as myself. If you're not making money when you're not working, you're going to be broke for a while. So what is it that you can do as an esthetician and still be able to make income, but not physically have to touch a face? Or you can have a conversation, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, but still be able to sell your retail products. That's something that I've always encouraged. That's something even in my mentoring group that I'm always letting them know. People are always looking to purchase something. So whether they purchase it from you or they purchase it from somebody on the Amazon, what is it that they are absolutely looking for? If you are a solo esthetician, which is the greatest thing you can be, you own your own business, you're working for yourself, you have your retail, you have your clientele, they know what they're doing, but you're also only making money when you are physically in the office, it's time to start looking at the bigger picture. For me, I knew I was going to have a shelf life. I'm coming up on 16 years as an esthetician. You know, my body started breaking down when I was consistently doing those 8 and 10 hours, consistently seeing 12 and 15 patients, I shouldn't say patients because I worked for a doctor at one time, but 12 to 15 clients a day. I was physically starting to break down because it's very much hard on my body. Body waxing is hard. Doing facials is hard. Repetitive stuff, shoulder stuff, back stuff. So I really had to look at the picture of my understanding of aesthetics from a different point of view. And that had to come from understanding that my body could only take so much. So that's kind of where I've really kind of changed a lot of things. Even when I talk at trade shows, I say we have a real true shelf life. Once, you hit about year 10 of doing services, your body knows that it's year 10. Whether your feet hurt, your knees hurt, your back, your shoulders, your hands, it starts to really become felt in your body. What is it that you can do, still seeing people, but you need to be able to earn income when you're not seeing clients? And that's something that a lot of us just don't think about. We understand the hustle, we understand rebooking, we understand getting those clients in, but we also don't understand that you have to make income even if you're not in the treatment room. My mentoring group has had the assignments are all this entire month. Their assignments have been social media marketing and how they're getting people to look at what they're posting and what they're sharing. Are they showcasing their favorite product? Are they showcasing the product that sells the best? Does every single person outside the business and inside the business know exactly what they offer? And it's been very enlightening because a lot of us were so stuck in those four walls. We don't want to understand, and we only want to understand when our money gets funny, And this time of year, people's money starts to get funny. They're broke from vacation, but they're getting ready to head into the holidays. So some people hold on to their money because they know Black Friday is coming and Cyber Monday is coming. But that's our job, to really start reaching out and being consistent with our marketing and being consistent with our really sharing what we do. And it's been very eye-opening, and I love my group. It's a small group. We have about 25 estheticians, a lot of them coming from, I have international as well as folks here in the U.S. who are also partaking. But the common thread along all of it is that, as hard as you work in your treatment room is the same energy and effort that you have to put into your marketing. It has to be the same energy and same effort. It has to be every day. It has to be every day. It has to be every day. You can't market on Monday and then go and have full books on Tuesday and Wednesday and maybe Thursday, and then try to market again on Friday. Marketing is daily. And I always do the same conversation that I say all the time, no different than TV, no different than the internet. We probably know all the little jingles of the little commercials that come on, but guess what? They're every single day. Sometimes you'll see the same commercial within the same hour. You know why? It's consistent. You have to continue to show people the same thing 7 times before they remember it. But what a lot of us do is we just say, you know what? I'm only going to market when I'm not busy. And when I'm busy, I don't have time to market, which is the worst thing you could ever do. Marketing when you're busy is just as important as marketing when you're not busy. And that's something that you have to do. It can't not be, I'm going to maybe do it here and then see how it results. Nope. If you're slow, it's because a few weeks ago, maybe last month, you did not market. You were so busy, you were living high on the hog, all excited because your books were full, and now your books aren't full, but you also didn't market. So marketing has to happen 365 days a week, days a year. It has to happen every day. Marketing is every day. I market every single day on every platform except for YouTube, but I market every day. I share something every day, whether it's a video, whether it's a picture. Everything. Absolutely, I called it knee-jerk marketing in the past. Knee-jerk marketing is really kind of that desperation. I got to start marketing because people aren't coming. Not realizing that marketing is what keeps your business consistent. If you have true ebbs and flows in your business, it's because your marketing has not been consistent. And marketing does not mean you're selling something. Marketing means you're telling people what you do. And that's one thing that I think I had to say probably the first 3 months in my marketing group is like, I don't need you to tell me what you're doing or try to sell me on it. Don't sell me on it. Just share what you're doing. What is it that you do and that you do really good? Share that. What is it that you do that you like? Share that. What is it that you do that people ask for you or that they're referred to you for? Share that. It's all very simple. We like to complicate it. So when we look at our business and we're saying, you know what? Okay, we're at the end of September, beginning of the October. It's starting to get a little bit slow, but I know my business is going to pick up in November and December because that's the time for, Black Fridays and Cyber Mondays and holidays, and families start to get together and people have a little bit more time because family can watch their kids. Kids are out of school. But what you should be doing right now is marketing every day. You should be talking about those gift certificates that you have available. You should be talking about understanding that and telling everyone, you do know that I'm going to be going on vacation too, or I'm going to spend some time when my family comes in for Thanksgiving, so you better get your appointment. Matter of fact, why don't we have 2 appointments booked for now and for 3 weeks from now, so that you're actually in my books now. And it's been very exciting to see my esthetician mentees actually start to book 2 and 3 times. Really force those customers to be committed to them. It's all in an ask. That's it. Ask and be honest. I may not have time for you when you're thinking about coming through the holidays. I would love for you to go ahead and book your spot now, so that way we don't have to worry about it, especially if your family comes in, your kids are going to be out, you're going to want a break. So let's go ahead and schedule it in now. People receptive to that. The ones that are just like, well, when do you want to come back in? Or I'll see you when you come back. That's not a good business move. A good business move means you're going to be proactive. You have to ask. And I was just at a school last week, and I was having very candid conversations with students, and they were all upset because they're like, well, we were sold and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, hey, school is to prepare you for state board. School will not give you on-the-job training. You know where on-the-job training happens? On the job. But no, we were told, no. You are being prepared to pass state board. That's it, honey. And every school is the same. You may think yours is the worst. Every school is the same. And I've been to a lot of schools. I've spoken at a lot of schools. And the thing that I'm finding as I'm a little bit longer in this industry is that our industry is changing so fast because we're so reliant on technology. Our industry is not reliant on technology. We can have a great facials with these 10 fingers right here. We can have a great facial when we dim the light. We can have a great facial when we say nothing to a customer or a client. We can have a great facial when they're comfortable. We can have a great facial when we allow that client to relax. It has nothing to do with the machine or technology. And that's, the thing where it's very simple, very simple. Tracy said, I saw a special that said McDonald's sales skyrocketed when they started asking if people wanted to add fries. Absolutely. The ask. I can't even say it any more plainer. It's the ask. Are you asking? People will say no, but at least it's in their radar. At least they're being made aware of it. I'll never forget an esthetician who I actually went to their business and I basically just asked, so how do people know what services you offer? Oh, all my stuff is on my website. Okay, so if I come in and I want to do a service, I have to go to your website in order to look at what you're offering? Well, yeah. Oh, okay. So, you do bikinis and Brazilians. Do you do anything else? Well, yeah, it's on my website. Okay, let me break it down to you. You can actually get whatever you want if you let people know. So let's say you have a service that has not been requested for a long time, but you want to bring awareness of it. Why don't you put it on the back of your treatment door and the back of your bathroom door? Did you know that I offer ABC treatment? $40. Ask me. Oh, I didn't think about that. Technology is good to a fault. It's good to a fault. But you also have to take the rest of the way. It has to come from you. It can't be you saying, go to the website. And I understand a lot of you, and I actually said this when I was chatting with Maxine Drake, who I love very much. She has her Esthetician Summit coming up. I had a great candid conversation with her and said the reason why a lot of our businesses struggle is because we've kind of lost that relationship with our customers. We're so quick to tell them to go to a website when not actually they want to talk to us. Now, do I know that it's difficult to have clients talk to us? Yes, I know. Trust me, because I barely talk to people here. I know, I get it. But we are a service-based industry. You can pick up the phone and talk to a dentist or the assistant or the office manager. You can pick up the phone and talk to an advice nurse, right? You can even type text to an advice nurse and get a response. People want that response. They want to feel like they're being heard. And I had a very interesting conversation on Facebook with an esthetician owner who's been in the business longer than I have. And she said that they don't even allow anything to happen on technology. Everything happens directly on the phone, so there's no confusion. And I really loved that. I really loved that because she was very honest. And she said people get frustrated with a website that they don't understand. People get frustrated with an appointment setting based website that they don't understand. So what happens? You lose that customer. And here is the kicker, and I've shared this multiple times on my esthetician chat. You can get a virtual assistant. Fiverr offers virtual assistants $5 an hour. And it may have gone up, but you can still find some that will be to your business. So it doesn't mean that you physically have to answer the phone, but you can have a virtual assistant who has access to your scheduler and schedules the appointment for your customers. It still will give them that personable telephone conversation. And going back to the basics is a must. A lot of us don't want to go back to the basics. Yes, technology is great. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes technology can be a hindrance, especially if you have people who have money and they're technically challenged. My parents are baby boomers. Baby boomers have money. But what do? Go onto the website. And if they're like my parents, they're confused. My mom and dad don't do anything. My mom can't even go to Starbucks to put money on Celine's Starbucks account, even though all she needs is her phone number. If you know your clientele and you understand where your money comes from, it does not come from these young little children, 20s and 25s, who do everything on their phone. Your money, your consistent money, comes from the older folks, 40s, 50s, 60s. There's the ones that have money. And I mean real money, consistent money, where they don't have to cancel because their check didn't come, or they don't have to cancel because they spent too much money at, the Mac counter or whatever. I'm talking about real consistent money. Those folks are not into technology. They like to pick up the phone and have a conversation. And if I ever decide to go back into aesthetics, I always know I'll work for myself, but that will be it. They will have someone that they can call and discuss with, and everything will happen in that way. It's really a true mindset. And our problem is that we in our business don't know where our money comes from. What is the median age of people who spend money in your business? And that actually has a good idea. I may have to throw that to my mentoring group, because we do. Who and what age range is making sure that you keep money in your pocket? Is it those 20 and 25 years old? Is it the 50-year-olds? Is it the 60 years old? Who are they? And that's who you need to make sure that you target. It's the consistent ones that bring you money. And technology, I'm sorry to say, is not their forefront. It really isn't. And we try to force them in there, and that can be forcing your money out the door. So you got to kind of find that balance. I think it's great for online, don't get me wrong, but I also think in our industry, we are service-based. People love to talk. They do. They want to know. They have questions. They may not understand the email. They may not check the email, but they'll listen to their voicemail. So you got to understand, who is your audience? Who are you trying to target for consistent income? If you know the younger ones, are flighty and, their money's coming from their parents, you need to really understand exactly how your money comes into your business, and that's who you need to market to. A lot of the baby boomers are not on Instagram. I'm just saying. A lot of them ain't on Facebook. And if they're on Facebook like my mom, they're over there playing on the casino. They're not looking at what I'm posting on my business page. It's just honest truth. So if you know that, and you know that they're older, then that's where you look at your emails. Baby boomers love emails. My mom and dad, they love them daggone emails. Because remember, as they were getting ready to leave that, emails started to really infiltrate the business and the workplace. So they're used to emails. Now, text messages, 50-50. Instagram, no. Facebook, no. But you got to really figure out exactly what it is. I love really kind of diving into that part of marketing, because that is really starting to be very specific. Like, I'm not just going broad. I'm not just throwing out some food and seeing who's going to eat. Like, I'm being more strategic and intentional on who I'm marketing to. And you got to know where your money is coming from. So if that's someplace that you have not really thought about looking at, please, I encourage you, figure out where your money comes from. What is the average median age in your business? And how much money are they really bringing to your business? That's your focus group. That's where you market to. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to, I agree, Katie, treat your baby boomers like royalty and platinum status all the time. They will love it. They will absolutely love it. And baby boomers have money. And I hate to see, when you have people who have kind of a bigger unrealistic expectation, these younger folks are not consistent with their money. They're just not. They have no understanding of time. They have no respect for your time. They will either no show or cancel at the drop of a hat. Like, there's no respect in time. And that's, for me, has always been something why I've really focused on my older folks. I hate to say it. If I tell them that I'm doing cash only, I get no problems, no complaints. When I was still working in Dixon, my entire business was cash only. I had no complaints, not one. And I had to train the younger ones to get with it, even though we got 2 banks across the street. I don't take your credit card. You know why? Because you could call up the bank and say you didn't like my service and try to cancel on me. I'm cash only. Have a good day. Your follow-up call. Don't forget to bring your cash. I'll see you tomorrow. Follow-up text. Your appointment's tomorrow at 11 a.m. I can't wait to see you. Make sure you have all your cash and I have plenty of change for you. See you tomorrow. I was very clear. And I had so many estheticians say, oh, my business would never run. It would never run on credit card, cash only. I have to take credit card. No, you don't. You want to. So when you want to, understand what you're opening yourself up to. Because folks will charge back in a minute. They'll say that they didn't like something and say, I don't want to pay for it and you guys need to do it, or it was a fraudulent charge, and they'll charge back in a minute. Honey, you can't charge back on no cash. You really can't. And I loved that. I think my baby boomers absolutely loved it as well, because a lot of them were hiding all the money from their husbands anyway. So they were always like, oh yeah, honey, I'll make sure I had cash. I get cash for you, honey. I had a consistent customer, which I loved. She always bring me 2 crisp $100 bills every time I seen her. Loved her. Do you understand? And she pulled it right out of her wallet too. But it's a mindset. My mind has always been different. I've never wanted to conform to what everybody else is doing. I didn't really care what everybody else is doing. But I truly understand and I understood who my target audience is. So when I said I'm cash only, there was no grips. There was nobody saying, oh my gosh, really? I didn't need to have that. They already knew what the deal was. Either you have your cash or you don't, or I'll watch you go across the street to the ATM and come back and then we're done. I mean, there was no options for you to pay with a credit card because I didn't have no way to take it. So it was on my website. It was in your follow-up call. It was on the back of my business card. We're cash only over here. And it wasn't anything where I was trying to be sneaky. I actually beat the punch to pretty much everything. I retailed, so if client called me and said, Stephanie, I still need my, my vitamin C serum. Can you just send it to me? Absolutely. I'll send you a PayPal, honey. And that was it. Like, I really made my business so super simple to where I didn't have to overcomplicate it with credit cards. And I took a credit card. The reason I stopped taking credit cards was because the credit card company failed me. So they came to me and said, you need to tell every customer from January 1st to September 1st that their card has been compromised and that they need to get another card. That was the reason why I let go of credit cards. I'm like, how is a credit card processing company going to send me a letter saying I have to let everybody know? How embarrassing is that for me? I mean, that could have affected my business in a horrible way. But the way that I, rebounded from that and just said, so in order for you to not have any issues with your credit card or ever have any association that has to do with me as far as fraudulent charges or people just trying to take out of your money, we're just going to cut that all and just go straight to cash. If you have any questions with it, I have no problems having a conversation. And you would be surprised at how many people were really like, thank you so much for being honest with me. I said, I don't have anything else to do. I mean, I've never been in a situation where a credit card company has said that you have to notify your clients and customers that their card has been compromised if they've used it with you from January 1st to September 1st. I've never had to do that before. So humbling myself with that became really a bigger picture for me to say, I never want to be in that situation again. And I never want to have my customers feel they can't trust me because of a credit card processor. So we're going to cut all this and we're going to just go straight to this cash, honey. We're going straight to the cash. Technology is a blessing and a devil at the same time. It really is. I mean, I knew that my customers were okay with going to cash. Every new customer that was come in was explained. They fell right in line with everybody else. And there are other businesses that are cash only. Let's talk about our nail shop sisters. They're cash only. A lot of them have ATMs in their nail shops, multiple ATMs, which is the same money that we give them. They're putting back into the ATM and getting the fees. So, yeah. Your fear is dashers. Come in, get a service, then run. How do you avoid that? Do you actually ask them to rebook? Do you actually have conversations with dashers? I truly feel all of our business really happens in conversations. So are you the type to not really get to know people who come in who are brand new? Because my understanding with dashers, and I never really had a lot of dashers, is that because I never really gave a great reason for them to return. Are you giving them a great reason to return? Is there open communication with all of your customers? Are you consistently marketing? Are you consistently talking in your e-newsletter? Are you consistently having things for them to read when they come in? Do you keep them abreast of everything that's happening in your business? That really is what converts people from a dasher to a customer. You haven't had this experience. You just fear of going cash only. Oh, yeah, no. So I never had a fear of cash only, ever. I was pushed into cash only. Like, my fear was bigger because I had to really come to everybody, even people who stopped seeing me, and let them know that their card has been compromised. That experience for me is kind of what pushed me over the edge to cash only. I would never have to experience that again. And for me, cash just stays on my body. I mean, I'm kind of a little bit, crazy when it comes to my cash. I never kept it, in a coin box. I never kept it in a cash drawer. Cash is on me. So if you have to get through me, we gonna go out fighting. So, my cash is always in my vault. You know what I'm saying? I always had money on me. Your son's hair cut at a barbershop is cash only. A lot of barbershops are cash only. Nail salons are cash only. I mean, it's just the norm. We try to be, like I said, we complicate our industry so much, and it doesn't have to be complicated. People are like, well, if I don't take a card, then that doesn't look like it's legit. Are you kidding? Cash is what the world goes round with. Not everybody in the world has credit. Not everybody in the world has a bank. And I actually had to learn this when I started looking at cryptocurrency. A lot of people don't bank. It's called unbanked. Google it. If you look at the world as a whole, there's more people are unbanked than bank. So if you look at currency and understand how money works, there's more people with cash in their hands than a credit card or a check card. It's deep. Why do you think Walmart allows check cashing now? Because they realize that there's more people that don't have money in the bank. I'm telling you, you got to look at money in general. Be a bigger picture. Do you not expect deposits in order that person's appointment to be secured, and if they were to cancel, you still had something from the appointment? So here's the thing about running your cash and understanding. A lot of it comes from relationship. A lot of it comes from how you start your business. And I find that a lot of these questions that I get are from people who are, like, I'm assuming that you've run your business a lot on technology. So the reason that you're having to take a credit card is because in the past someone has burned you, but before you even make that relationship, you're expecting them to give you a card to even hold the appointment. There's no relationship there for them to trust you or for you to trust them. So I think it really, how did you establish that? How are you establishing your business? If you want to do your online booking, you want them to give a credit card because they may leave. For some, it's offensive. For others, they have no problem. For me, my relationships with all of my customers were my relationships. So if they had to cancel, it was very rare, but they would just reschedule. It wasn't that big of a deal. I also do things that they can't go to everyone to get. So that's another thing that I think has made a big difference in my business, is I don't do what everybody else does. Have you ever had a circumstance where you didn't have enough change? No, I always carry change. Matter of fact, my purse is over there. I always carry change. I always has 1s and 5s and 10s. Plus I have a child. She's always fleecing my money too. No, I think part of it is that when you're ready to come to a change, which is what we have with my mentoring group now, when people are ready to change and you're fed up with the way your business is going and you can see the opportunity of what your business could be making, it comes from you. I bet you if you really took a big, hard, honest look at your business and said, there are things I could do differently. There could be reasons as to why people no-show to me. Those are all honest, are hard truths to come from, but you could really see things that you might be able to change as far as your relationship with your customers. That's it. You said you're so happy I'm saying this because you were nervous about it. I just started out, was trying to make it easier for guests to book, but not require a credit card payment to hold the app. I, again, am, and you can quote me, I'm not a big fan of apps and online. I'm just not. I truly think that the reason a lot of our customers really become irritated, frustrated with us is because we don't have that connection. Think about it. Think about your own life. When you have a doctor's appointment, do you keep it? Yes. When you have your dentist appointment because they handed you a card as you walked out from your tooth cleaning 6 months ago, do you keep it? Yes. Do you change it? Yes. Do you go to it? Yes. That is all coming from a relationship. It's not coming from an app. It's not coming from an online scheduler. It's coming from a relationship. We are in the personal business. We are in the service industry. We really are. So our relationship with every single customer that comes in is unique. That unique relationship will react to either they wanting to come back and spend time with you or they're not. And it's becoming more and more, I find, common with a lot of us just relying on an app or relying on a scheduler. That is not our business. Your businesses grow because of you. They grow because of your relationship and personality. It grows because what you provide, the experience of that person coming to see you. It's not your scheduler and it's not your app. And that's something that as you become, have more years in the industry, you start to see people who have really full books. It's because they have that way of connecting with each and every customer that comes to them. And an app won't do that for you. It really won't. So I really always challenge, and this is something that I challenge my esthetician group all the time. What is the experience that people experience with you? What are they experiencing? Is it something that they want to come back for? Is it something that it's unique? Or are you kind of someone that they just kind of pass in the night? What are they experiencing with you? Greed, you really enjoy talking to guests, and I can save $15 a month not using that. Exactly. They are hustling. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. We love hustling. However, your hustle has to also come with a connection. It has to come with being able to forge a relationship with your customers. The reason customers and clients tell other people about what you do is the relationship you have with them. It's their experience they had with you. They want you to have that, their friends and family to have the same experience that they experienced with you. That does not happen from an app or an online or anything like that. That happens from you to that person. That's what you have to build on to become a great esthetician. It doesn't happen from, you saying, okay, I'm going to make it easy for you to make an appointment. I'm going to make it easy. That's not how it works. We're in relationship. What are they experiencing with you? What are you offering them that they can experience that they won't experience with any other esthetician? That should be your focus and goal. Not an app, and I'm being very honest, not an online scheduler. What are they experiencing with you? And a lot of us don't know because we have never thought about, I want to make sure everyone experience that it comes in contact with me is a memorable one. That's not our goal. Our goal is to make sure that we make the money that we've set out to make for the day, that we're able to rebook, we're able to upsell with some retail, and we're able to get somebody to refer. Like we're in so go mode all the time and hustle mode all the time that we don't realize we are in a true relationship-based business. My relationship is what grows my business. The reason people come back is because the experience that they have with me. What do I need to do to make their experience better? What do I need to do to make sure that my experience with them is nothing like anyone else in the world? That they truly know my experience is my experience. What are you doing to kind of get yourself there? That's the difference. And for me, it's always been the consistent part. Are you consistently doing what you're supposed to do? Are you providing them with something that they know is customized to them? Do you understand what you're seeing in their skin? Are you able to clearly help them understand why they need to do what they need to do, not only with you, but what they need to do when they have their product? Why it's important for their product and their home care to be consistent when they come and they see you. Why these have to work together and we have to be a team, and you just can't come see me and then go home and use your Dove. Like, you have to be able to communicate that without coming across as selling. Like, you can't just say, oh, you need it. It has to be a true understanding. True understanding. You want them to call me also, but I can't answer during services. So the other problem I've seen is that they don't want to leave messages. Absolutely. You agree to save the info. It's really great info. I'll put this in my IGTV when I'm done. So you guys, and the sad thing is that on IGTV, it will only be up to, I believe, 30 minutes. So the rest of this will be on my YouTube channel. And I understand how clients don't want to leave messages as well. And again, I'm all about virtual assistant. I think it's one of the biggest hidden secrets that a lot of us don't want to talk about. Hire a virtual assistant. Fiverr has them. Go on to Fiverr. You can hire someone, even if you don't do it every day. Look at your books. When is the most, or even look at your phone. When do you get the most calls? What day do you get the most calls? Is it 2 days? Is it 3 days? That's $10 a week if you pay for 2 days for Fiverr, or if it's $5 an hour, or however you want to do it. Figure it out. My advice always to solo estheticians, I never say go and get staff and all that. I did that. If I ever go back and work again in aesthetics where I do hands-on treatments and everything, I literally would hire a gopher, someone who answers my phone, turns my bed over, greets people to come in, turns my room over, have them come out, upsell, check them out. She would be in charge of everything. My phone, getting my money, rebooking, upselling, everything. That would be the only thing I would do. I would have my 2 rooms. I'd go back and forth. I say that all the time. Owning a spa is overrated. I've been very honest. I had to pay people before I could have money in myself. That's how it is. But when you're a solo operator, you have the awesome way to make a whole lot of money. The key is are you strategically doing it right? Strategically doing it right means that you have things in place to where you don't miss that phone call, where you don't miss that opportunity when someone comes in and says, I got to get this cleanser. Is somebody there for me to come pick it up? Like, are you strategically doing it the right way? It really depends on what it is that you want to do. What you want to do, focus on doing it, get it done. That's it. That's it. Well, I heard my husband come back in. I don't know where he is. I think he went back there to close the door. But this has been fun, guys. I didn't mean for this to go into an esthetician chat. I was just coming on to, talk about my brows and talk about some other stuff. But, I'm glad that it turned into my esthetician chat, because I probably won't have this much opportunity to come back on and chat with you guys again as we're going into the fall and the holiday. And then my daughter starts traveling as well. So, with her dance, keeps me busy. But I'm glad that a lot of you guys came on to chat on this Sunday evening, because there's a lot of things that are important to me to share, but there's also a lot of things that I truly feel that are very simple, but we overcomplicate them. My students who are in my group, they're the ones who are very simple. They're the ones who I've been with for months and just saying, you're overcomplicating this. Let's get it very simple and let's get it done. Where's your homework? Let me see what I need to see. Where is your service menu? That's not clear enough. I'm fortunate enough to be able to have the time that I spend with them and really just tell them, I'm giving you the straight up, honest truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat really any of it. The reason I won't book with you is because it's confusing. And why are you confusing me when it should be very simple? And I think that's kind of what we need to have a lot, is just saying, you're complicating all of this. This is very simple. You can be very successful, but you have to be very clear at what you're trying to do. Oh, it's telling me I have time remaining. Yes, I will be at the Fort Lauderdale show coming up October 21st and 22nd. I will be there. I'm doing classes on Sunday. I think I have 2. I don't think I have a class on Monday. I am doing the 7-minute Brazilian. I'm showing long coarse hair and bigger customers. And then I'm talking about our new products that we have rolling out, because by then we should have a couple new products that are there. So we're excited for the Fort Lauderdale show. Instagram is telling me that I've been on here too long for the live, so I'm gonna have to get ready to get off. But I'll have the first 30 minutes of it on my IGTV, and then the remaining I will upload the complete on my YouTube channel. Okay? All right, guys, have a great Sunday. Bye.